So we now get underway with our third final this afternoon, and it's time to turn our attention to senior road tax. Here is your starting grid. On the front row, it's going to be Sean Butcher and Lewis Gilbert, with Ethan Jeff Hall and Kai Gilles on row 2. Kai Hunter and Tommy van der Stroys round out row number 3, with Maxence Bouvier and Devian Rost round out the top 4 rows. Farin Mega and Austin Lee will complete the top 10. Andrei Petrovic, Vic Stevens, that is row 6. Luke Neeson and Lachlan Robinson, row 7. Taze Dams and Christoph Saller, row 8. Row 9, Jaden Thien and Mika Barthélemy. Matthew Higgins and Jot van Wyk will complete the top 20. Rounding out the 36-strong grid, it's Dion van Werven, Matteo Pianizola, Montego Maassen, Teresa Babichkova, Sam Bergstein, Paul Fokwemin, Mario Sidler, Petra Babichkova, Robbie Stoddard, Sverre Uben, Axel Goes, Ralph van der Pavert, Zach Scowler, Bram Mossevard, Mitch Haynert and Nolan Nemaray. So I do spot a few people in the chat. Hello Jasper Daly, Zach Turner, Max Mariner. There has been some information put in the chat that the times have been revised to 4 o'clock, which is just gone past 4 o'clock for seniors. DD2 at 16:30. That's 3:30 p.m. if you're in the UK, and 4 p.m. UK time, or 5 p.m. Central European Summer Time for the Masters class. So quite a few penalties for front fairings being given out in the previous race, which was the pre-final. 8 in total, and 2 time penalties, 5 seconds of which were, the penalties that were given out for 5 seconds were for pushing for drivers 313 and 323. So Paul Fokwemin and Teresa Babichkova. Max Mariner hoping that Bram Mossevard aka Red Actions. It's not the first time I've mentioned that this weekend. 34th to 1st, but with the field that he's got in front of him, that's going to be a tall odd, but you never know. Things can happen. We have seen quite a lot of action over the course of the weekend. But 36 senior road tax drivers out of a capacity 72 that joined the paddock this weekend. We now see the revs build. Are we ready? Are we steady? The senior road tax final gets underway for the first time of asking. Sean Butcher leads the way. Gilbert to the outside. Ethan Jeff Hall to the inside. As the drivers make their way through into the first couple of corners, and there has been an absolute melee. And that is the 301 of Maxence Bouvier. And that is Kai Gilles out, possibly. Or is he got going again? He has got going again, but he's just checking. Maxence Bouvier went over the top of Kai Gilles. And there is Devian Ross, so it caused absolute madness, and it was Kai Gilles that was caught up in the crossfire. So yellow flags at Marshall post number 2. And there were quite a few drivers going off in avoidance as well. One of the Samco Serbian racing team carts possibly might have been Andrei Petrovic. For the moment, it is Sean Butcher leading. 2nd, Ethan Jeff Hall. 3rd, Lewis Gilbert. 4th, Kai Hunter. 5th, it's Lachlan Robinson, who's gone all the way up from 14th, managed to get through. And Vic Stevens, Jaden Thien, Taze Dams, Luke Neeson and Christoph Saller round at the top 10. And for those Red Actions fans out there, he's up to 25th already after the first lap. Now there's going to be an exchange for 2nd position, because now Gilbert and Hunter get through on Ethan Jeff Hall, and Lachlan Robinson's got a head full of speed, and he gets through on the 397 through turn number 8. Now Ethan Jeff Hall has got, that is more than likely Jaden Thien just behind, which is the case. Then Vic Stevens in the 369, the 321 of Taze Dams also there. Robinson up the inside of Kai Hunter for P3, and now we'll go after Gilbert. 2nd lap completed, and it's the head of steam that has been provided. That's 11 places in 2 laps gained by Lachlan Robinson after what has just happened in the early throws of this race. And Lachlan Robinson goes deep into turn 6. It's a 3-way exchange coming out of turn number 6, but it looks like Gilbert's got back into 2nd, Robinson back into 4th behind Kai Hunter, And Ethan Jeff Hall rejoins the back of the train. Meanwhile, Sean Butcher has started to eke out a little bit of an advantage. So Devin Rost and Maxence Bouvier are out of the race. A little bit of a mistake there from Ethan Jeff Hall. He's got Jaden Thien and Vic Stevens just behind. Then also Mika Barthélemy. Tommy van der Stroys now rounds out the top 10. He's got Matthew Higgins, who's charging forward. Just behind him. Higgins started 19th. Now Lewis Gilbert currently still holding on to second position. And there has been a little bit of drama now. I've seen that Austin Lee has dropped to the bottom of the timesheets. And he's in stone dead last behind Petra Babičková. Jaden Thien and now Ethan Jeff Hall. And then Vic Stevens all trying to get through on Lachlan Robinson, but Robinson holds his ground. Only allows Jaden Thien to get through. So we have 11 minutes and 20 seconds still to go. Apologies for the timing not showing on the live stream at the moment, but I am keeping a check on it. It is running as we speak. But look at the train behind Lewis Gilbert. Everyone's jockeying for position. Kai Hunter looks up the inside, gets through on Gilbert. Jaden Thien to the outside. Lachlan Robinson to the inside. Now through into turn 3. Robinson round the outside of Thien and gets turned around by Thien, and they both clatter into each other. As a direct result, Robinson went for the move. Jaden Thien was gonna give no quarter, and he went up at the inside of the 326. Robinson went slightly sideways, managed to catch it, and they clattered into each other again, just basically because they were trying to avoid those on the racing line. So 10.5 minutes still remaining on the timer. Sean Butcher leads the British 1-2-3 at the moment, and his gap is considerable. So at the moment, it's an English top 4 at the moment. It is also France, the Netherlands. Then we got, well, the UK by way of Wales represented in the top 7. Belgium, Teresa Babičková has made her way from 28th, no surprise here folks, up to 9th. With Paul Fauquemin from France rounding out the top 10. Vic Stevens battling away with Matthew Higgins, who's gotten ahead of him. And there is Teresa Babičková, who just has in front. That is going to be Mika Barthélemy, I believe. So Teresa Babičková getting on with the business at hand. But Butcher's lead is just absolutely expanding like the vast chasm over the Channel Tunnel. Ethan Jeff Hall now looks up the inside of Kai Hunter to take P2. Back off the 335 based out of Sunderland in the Republic of Tyne and Wear. And then we've got Scotland's finest just behind. Lewis Gilbert holding on to 4th place, but waiting and biding his time to see what transpires in front. Butcher's nearly got a 3.5 second lead after the first 6 laps. Got 8 minutes and 55 seconds still to go. Top 10 covered by just under 6.9 seconds. Jaden Thien now in 17th. Lachlan Robinson in 19th position. Ralph van der Pevert, who started down in 32nd, now rounds out the top 20. Jod van Wijk in the 333 has now retired. As of lap 3, Dion van Werven is the last driver, still running in 33rd position in the 377. Now an attempt by the 386 of Mika Barthélemy to try and get through on Matthew Higgins, who will be on fresher rubber. Both him and his dad David decided to take a chance in the second chance heat earlier on. It was the only driver and mechanic duo that decided to go on old tyres. But now Matthew Higgins has got a very good head of steam. He's running in the 55.4s at the moment. And that is going to be Teresa Babičková in front of him. Bit of a lunge by Paul Fauquemin. That was through on Montego Masson, and the Frenchman gets through. They've got Axel. It looks like Mitch Haynert's getting a bit feisty out there too. He's just made up a position. And so is Luke Neeson. Tommy van der Stoys, in the meantime, gets past Kai Hunter. That's for fourth on the road. That was through into turn number 2. Past the halfway point of this race. Sean Butcher is doing exactly what he needs to do. Just keep on running his own race. Keep the blinkers on. That's exactly what he needs. And with the fact that a win in a heat, in a pre-final and a final, that's a solid score of 110 points for Butcher. New points scoring system for 2023. Hillets is on the comeback trail. He's currently just got past Sam Bergstein for 20th position through turn 10. So there's still 6.5 minutes for this year, for last year's BNL Karting Series Senior Rotax champion and vice champion of Europe last year as well. So Ethan Jeffhall at the minute staying in front of Lewis Gilbert in the battle for second position. This battle is about 3.8 seconds off of the current race leader, Sean Butcher, who is away and clear. Jaden Teen now puts in the fastest lap of the race, 54.759, and he's 2 positions away from getting himself back up into the top 10. Lewis Gilbert and Ethan Jeffhall go into battle. Tommy van der Stoy is trying to close them down, and he's right behind the 316 from Kaf Motorsport. Now, Gilbert and van der Stoy do have previous in the last heat yesterday, where van der Stoy went for the race lead, inadvertently collected Lewis Gilbert in the process through the final corner. He won't want to make that mistake twice. So coming towards the final 5 minutes, 2/3 completed, 1/3 to go, plus an additional lap. We're now on lap number 11 as Butcher makes his way through the 12th and final corner once again. 4.1 seconds was the advantage after 10 laps. Now lap 11 is completed. What's the gap between them? 4.6 seconds. That's half a second gained over the last lap of this race. And Sean Butcher has just set a personal best, 55.003. A little bit further behind the likes of Babichkova and Higgins. You've got Vic Stevens battling away with the likes of Mika Barthélemy, Jaden Teen, who is now in the top 10. There's Paul Fokwemin on the inside of the straightaway. There's Matthew Higgins, who's just had Fokwemin go through. There's Nolan Lemeray, who has had a little bit of a difficult up and down weekend. He's just got through. There's Mika Barthélemy, plus Mitch Haynert and Montego Masson. So there has been a change once again, but the scrap is really intensifying because Kai Hunter has lit the touch paper. He's now come fighting back. He's got past van der Stoy and now is gunning for the 2 in front. Babichkova now joins the train. 5 karts battling away over second position. Some moves up and down the order. There has been a change because it looks like Paul Foucault, I'm not too sure, that was one of the Dams Racing karts that has just been passed. As Gilbert now gets through. And that's a bit too close for comfort for Ethan Jeffhall and Kai Hunter. Hunter tries to pin it around the outside of turn 9, has to fall back into line. And now van der Stoy, Babichkova, Jaden Teen is there as well. Fokwemin is with them. Keep your eyes on Lemeray and Higgins. That train is fast expanding. Mika Barthélemy, Mitch Haynert, Montego Masson. And then the likes of Lachlan Robinson, Taze Dams, Matteo Pianizzola and Kai Hillets are not too far away either. Jaden T nearly loses out to Tommy van der Stoys. Van der Stoys gets the cut through, back up the inside of the 380 through turn number 4. And now Lachlan Robinson trying to go around the outside. That was on Mitch Haynert. And Robinson nearly made it work. A little bit further up the Europalan, there is some toing and throwing. Babichkova is having pressure from behind. There is Montego Masson battling away with the 321 of Days Dams, and Rilletz gets the pair of them in the process. And a little bit of a wide excursion, and off the circuit goes Nolan Lemerhay, and it has caused pandemonium behind. And that is Teresa Babichkova's day in senior Rotax done. Robinson was also off the circuit. The main thing is Teresa got out of the cart and just walked away. And now it's between Lewis Gilbert and Ethan Jeff Hall for second position on the road. And it was just a clatter in, and yeah, it was just everyone got caught out behind. It was just the fact that Hunter went up the inside of the 332 of Nolan Lemerhay. The Frenchman went up into the air, off the circuit. Babichkova had nowhere to go, and along comes, I think that was Taze Dams, went into, well, it might have been for Quemin, and Babichkova gets turned around, and that was by the 364 of Matthew Higgins, who also had nowhere to go. Lachlan Robinson's front axle's up in the air over the back of Mitch Haynert, and Mika Barthélemy manages to avoid, then through goes Kai Rilletz. And Rilletz now up into 8th place, and it's still all kicking off. Second position still up for grabs, as Lewis Gilbert was round the outside of Ethan Jeff Hall. One right rear wheel on the grass for the Scotsman, and that allows Ethan Jeff Hall, Tommy van der Stoys and Jaden Teen to get through. But still, this is the battle for second position. Sean Butcher is probably aware of exactly what's going on, but is just concentrating on his own race. His lead now is probably going to be north of 10 seconds. He's about to come through turn 12, and this quartet battling over second place are just coming through turn 10. That just goes to show how quickly a race can turn up on its head, and that's Vic Stevens' kart being pulled to the side. 2 more laps to go, including this one, and the lead is now a colossal 10.7 seconds. Ethan Jeff Hall holding on to second at the moment. Lewis Gilbert looking to get one past on Jaden Teen. At this time, it's not quite happening. Gilbert sweeps to the outside of the 380, switches to the inside. Textbook Gilbert right there. And he slingshots past, up into 4th position goes Lewis Gilbert. And yep, so for Quemin out, Robinson out, Teresa Babichkova out. Looks like, along with Vic Stevens, Zach Scowler, the other driver from the Azheat Academy that is here this weekend, along with Zain El Homosani, is out of the race. And there is a 5-second penalty, and it's going to Ethan Jeff Hall. So Ethan Jeff Hall gets a 5-second time penalty from race control, just awaiting confirmation of what that is for. So we're down to 28 runners and riders. So at the moment, the way things stand, Ethan Jeff Hall, if that's an additional 5 seconds, that is going to bump him well outside of the top 10, probably towards the bottom of the top 15, as Jaden Teen was looking up the inside of Lewis Gilbert going into turn 7. But what a day it's been. The man who won the title in 2020 and 2021 is going to see the checkered flag. It's double delight today for Sean Butcher from the United Kingdom, who wins by a country mile. Second position on the road, it is going to be Ethan Jeff Hall, but that's going to go to Tommy van der Stoys with a post-race penalty going to the 397. Lewis Gilbert will pick up third, Jaden Teen will take fourth, and Kai Rilletz will more than likely take 5th position as a result of all of that. So Matthew Higgins, Kai Hunter, Matteo Pianezzola and Taze Dams round out the top 10. Luke Neeson, Nolan Lemeray, Montego Masson, Sam Bergstein, Andrei Petrovic, Christoph Saleh, Fahin Mega, Sverre Uben, Petra Babichkova, and Ralph van der Pavert round out the top 20. Mika Barthelemy, Mitch Haynert, Bram Mosavada, Mario Sidler, Robbie Stoddard, Axel Goes, Austin Lee, and Dion van Verven are the last of the classified finishers. On lap 15, we lost Vic Stevens and Zach Scowler. Lachlan Robinson, lap 14. Teresa Babichkova and Paul Fokwemin on lap 13 through the turn 11 incident. Then Jot van Wijk, Devian Rost and Maxence Bouvier, we lost very early in the race.